Hello everyone, I'm back. It's 1:57 p.m. in the afternoon. So, excuse me because not long ago, like a few minutes ago, I ended up with a really bad headache right when I went to use the bathroom just now. And I have pressure on my heart. And so there's some things to talk about that I'm going to reserve until later. Excuse me for yawning. Sorry. So I'm going to get to the point on the topic of this video. I'm going to entitle it, Here's My Situation. So that people can get a better understanding on what I've been going through. Okay, so I've told, like, I guess throughout the years I've been documenting my targeting and my gang stalking, and talking about the foster care abuse and the narcissistic abuse and everything growing up. So this is what happened. Here is my situation. I have a bad headache suddenly. Maybe the perps hit me with weapons causing me this headache because they don't want me to get the story out. But I'm going to continue to talk anyway. So, my name is Candy Grand Prix. Candy Grand Prix. Grandpre. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I have a twin sister, which most of y'all know that, and our birthday is August 25th, 1983. We just recently turned 41 years old. So, we were taken away from our biological parents at, I guess 5 months old, maybe. And we were put in foster care at 6 months old. And the foster mom abused us and put us in a cult, a new age cult. They're making my eye itch. They put us in a new age cult. The foster family, mainly the foster mother, put us in a new age cult called the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research. Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research. And the cult was mixed up with like Theosophy, New Age, and Freemasonry, and some other stuff. And the cult mocks Christians and Jesus Christ. They even mock church services, but they want to call it these classes, class sessions to go to. They call it a Bible class, but it's treated like a church. And so it was run by a man named Henry Clifford Kinley, and he was the cult founder. And I did a couple of videos exposing the fake IDMR cult. Thankfully, I don't have any memories of being sexually abused in that cult. And I don't know of any stories about children being molested in that cult. But the former foster mom, Adrian Felder, ran her own household like a cult growing up in Gretna, Louisiana. That's where we grew up. And so then from young we were we had strange things happen to us growing up. when we were very little, we had strange things happen to us. Like, I used to have a lot of nightmares growing up. I talked about this before, but I'm reiterating it again for the new people, the people who are new to my, my YouTube channel. So, you know, I mean, I remember waking up. I mean, I remember having like traumatizing nightmares a lot as a little toddler. And, but I don't have any memory of being like sexually touched as a child. But the foster dad, when he was alive, he used to watch porn in front of us, and he used to use the bathroom in front of us like it was nothing. I didn't realize that wasn't normal when we were little, but I don't have any memory of him, touching us inappropriately. And so then, I remember I used to wake up with, nosebleeds a lot and have a lot of nightmares. And, me and my twin sister used to float in the air, what they said, levitate. We were babies. We didn't know what the hell was going on. But some people said that was a lot of witchcraft and voodoo or whatever in that house. So, by the time we were 4, the former foster mom started using us as cleanup slaves. She started using us as cleanup slaves, starting off with folding clothes. And then 4 years old, folding clothes as cleanup slaves. And then I didn't understand how she used to expect a 4-year-old child to be able to find matches to socks. And she would whip us if we couldn't find matches to socks. I'm just giving like a few examples of the abuse, a little bit. I'm not going to go into deep detail. Some of the stuff is too shameful and too embarrassing to even talk about, And so then, we were 3 years old, and she used to, like a couple of times, I remember she forced us to sleep outside as a punishment. And also, she used to force us to eat soggy cereal out of the garbage can. If we threw it away, she would force us to eat soggy cereal out of the garbage can and force us to stand on our knees for 6 hours all day until the soggy cereal was eaten out of the garbage can, stuff like that. And so, I mean, and then when we were in kindergarten, the teachers used to lock up me and my twin sister, I think a couple of times together, but most of the time on our own, by ourselves, lock us up in small janitorial closets all day long, and then blame it on us having so-called bad behavior. But we were abused, in the foster home by multiple people in the house. And I felt bad that when I got a certain age, I started to hit other kids or bite other kids and stuff, acting out. I mean, I don't think anybody bit me, but I don't know why or how I bit people when I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know any better, And but I think, so then I remember being in kindergarten, And every time the foster mom put this red and white striped outfit on me, my stomach would hurt really bad. My stomach would hurt really bad every time. You know. So then you know, the foster mom used to whip us with a belt, and the foster dad, when he was alive, they used to whip us with a belt growing up. And they used to physically abuse and beat on us at the daycare we went to, too. I mean, you know, the ladies that worked there. And then, let's see, what else? I'm sorry, my anxiety is really high and I'm nervous right now. And like the foster mom manipulated for me and my twin sister to not get along, you know, and it seemed like she profited off of manipulating us to argue, fuss, and fight, and for us to be against each other so that she could get more checks for us to be labeled as crazy and badly behaved. I had no idea that the foster care system is child trafficking. I did not know. I mean, the biological family hates to talk about what happened to us when we got taken away and put in foster care. Excuse me, but the biological family say that the biological brother Pete had an argument with the biological mom Frances and made a false call to the I guess CPS or whatever. And then they said that the SWAT team showed up and drew guns to take us away, you know. But the family, they don't like to go into detail to talk about it. But the foster family and the fake social workers and everything, and the psychiatrists or whatever, had it on record that they said that the biological mom neglected us. And the foster mom brainwashed and manipulated us to hate the biological mom, Frances. And the biological mom, Frances, was the foster mom's main target. She didn't say much about the biological dad, Arthur. The biological dad, Arthur, was in the military. He was in the army. And he fought in the Korean War. I didn't find that out until years later. So then, when we were in foster care, it was me, Brandy, Wyatt, Mark, and Sean. But Sean was living with the biological mom's sister, Mickey. And Sean endured more abuse from Mickey. Mickey was living in Harvey. And you know, Sean endured more abuse from Mickey, and also he was in and out of group homes, children's group homes. You know, and Mark, being the older brother, he used to physically abuse and beat on us growing up, and Wyatt used to tease us, but I didn't realize, you know, with the teasing, that's, some people say that was normal, what certain siblings do to each other, you know. But we were little kids, we ain't know no better, and I guess Wyatt didn't know no better either, you know. But I don't even know if Wyatt teased us as a way to cope, or if Mark physically abused and beat on us as a way to cope with, you know, to cope with being taken away and put in foster care. I don't know what their motive is or was, you know. But and I'm sorry that I'm not looking at the camera. I didn't even realize, but like, I'm so deep in thought, trying to, you know, remember. I mean, trying to because me having to be careful with my words, because of the stalkers lying, manipulating, and twisting everything, and falsely accusing me of saying things I didn't say and stuff like that, you know. So I have to to formulate my words or think a certain way, you know, and try to be very careful. So then Wyatt was taken away and put in a group home in late childhood, before a teenager, you know, before being a teenager. And then eventually the biological sister Belinda got him and sent for him to come to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he finished the rest of his childhood and teenage years up there while we were still with the foster mom. And we had, you know, the foster sister Joni, which was the foster mom's biological cousin's daughter. That was considered, you know, the foster sister. And the foster mom had 3 biological kids of her own. And the older, you know, and the foster mom's 3 biological kids were physically abusive towards us growing up as well. Then by the time we were 12 years old, because the foster dad, Al, passed away when we were 9. And then the foster stepdad, Mr. Terry, came when we were 12. And the foster mom used to whip us with belts, but then she said that the state told her to stop whipping us, you know. So instead of whipping us with belts, she would physically abuse and beat on us. Like, she would have rings on her fingers and, you know, bust our lip. You know, like my twin sister talked about in the live stream. I guess it was last week. Sometimes we got whipped or beaten, didn't understand what we did wrong, and a lot of times for no reason at all. Punished for no reason at all. And I remember, you know, the beatings from the foster brother Joe and other people, you know. Me and my twin sister used to, despite me acting out being abused as a kid, I also was bullied. Me and my twin sister were bullied by other kids at school and physically abused and beat on. And they had me and my twin sister to go to separate schools growing up. They making my eye itch. You know. So, well, in elementary school we went to different schools, but then junior high and high school we had, you know, we went to the same school but had nearly all different classes. And maybe except a couple of classes together, you know. But they tried whatever they could to keep us separated for some reason. And then we ended up learning how to not get along. And the foster mom used to have that Kraft family across the street to stalk and spy on us and report back everything to her. And we were frightened of what lies they would make up on us, or frightened of them telling on us. So, you know, they used to stalk and spy on and watch our every move when we were very little kids. At first me and my twin sister had different kindergarten classes, but then we ended up in the same kindergarten special ed class later on. They eventually put me in special ed, but at first I was in regular kindergarten classes. And then when I was in elementary school, I was, they make my nose itch. I was in special ed, and then I got mainstream. And then by the time I got to high school, I ended up having some honors classes, and my GPA was 3.75 or 3.67 or somewhere around there. And the foster mom and the fake social workers, you know, they didn't want me to achieve the dreams that I wanted. They kept trying to set me back or try to make, like, after I became targeted. I have a blog post to talk more in detail. It was long enough to be a book, but I just kept it as a blog post to talk about how my targeting began, how my targeting started. And I was in ninth grade when I became targeted because of the foster mom scapegoated me for a certain situation that wasn't my fault. And she felt the need to scapegoat me in order to protect that Kraft family. Because one of the girls, Lanika, from the Kraft family, when the foster mom's grandma was on her deathbed, Lanika took that opportunity to try to orchestrate and organize sexual situations to go on. And they tried to hide that from me, and I found out anyway. And I can't talk about it all in this video, but I've talked about it before. And then the foster mom knew she could. The foster mom is Masonic, and that Kraft family is Masonic, and the foster mom knew she couldn't go up against that Kraft family, so she scapegoated me. And I wasn't even involved in performing any sexual acts at all. I was 14 years old. And so then, after that, they scapegoated and blamed me, saying it was all my fault that the foster mom lost her mom, that I didn't tell on time, or I should have told right away. And ever since then, the foster mom felt the need to get revenge because she said it was my fault that she couldn't say the last words to her dying mother. Well, I couldn't say the last words to my dying mother either years later, and I couldn't even get to go to my biological parents' funeral, either one of them, when I was 30 years old. So, and they gave me a really hard time, but yeah, I believe that because of the foster mom scapegoating me and saying it was my fault that she couldn't say the last words to her dying mother, my life ain't been the same since. That was when people started to call me crazy. And the bullying got worse. We were already bullied before then. But I believe at that time, was my twin sister probably got initiated. And I think the foster mom and the fake Gretna police helped my twin sister, sell out. And Lanika had that the sexual situation with she hiked up a sexual situation because Lanika was a child. I believe Lanika was being Lanika and her sisters, I believe, were being sex trafficked. And the foster mom, we were in 8th grade, and she was outraged and yelling and saying that Lanika's mom was prostituting her and her sisters to grown men. I guess Lanika and her sisters were victims of sex trafficking to older men, being pimped out to older men. And so the foster mom scapegoating me. I was the golden child or the favorite child until that situation happened. From the time of 6th grade until 9th grade, I was the golden child or the foster mom's favorite, but still dealing with being abused and everything. And then I became, the scapegoat, and then my twin sister became the favorite. And then, my twin sister used to always lie on people when we were growing up, lie on people and get them in trouble. And then, so then they used to always hate her because she lied so much. And they used to hate me for being a quote-unquote snitch, or I would tell the truth, but the foster mom would manipulate for us to spy and snitch on each other. Or, we would get in more and more trouble. The foster mom ran her own household like a cult. using us as clean-up slaves and having us spy on and snitch on each other. And she would keep us divided and choose a lot of favoritism because she was an abusive, narcissistic witch. And she was controlling and abusive. I mean, well, more like not physically abusive, but she was controlling to whatever husband she had, you know, and manipulated them. And the woman boasts about being 4 feet 11 inches tall, but she bragged and boasted about being 4 feet 11 inches tall, but everyone is in fear of her. My height is 5'2", and I'm obese and overweight. You know, and I was in 6th grade taking Prozac, and that made me gain weight. Before then, before Prozac, I didn't really have weight issues. But then when I was in high school, like sophomore and junior year in high school, in my sophomore year, I was skinny. In junior high years, I was more skinny. And still being called fat and the trigger word greedy. You know. But I've been called greedy since 6th grade. Fat and greedy since 6th grade. But then, you know, junior high and high school, I wasn't really overweight or obese. But then, my senior year in high school was when I started gaining weight. And then as an adult, I ended up being like, could never get under 240 pounds. And the older I got, it's like the more weight I gained, but could never get anything lower than 240 pounds until 2018 and 19, I finally got down to 192 pounds. And then after being homeless again, I ended up being, I ended up being, back overweight again, you know. But, so, I mean, despite my struggles and being targeted, I mean, they had so many people who try to sabotage my success and everything. I wanted to be a doctor. They sabotaged that. Then I wanted to be a Spanish translator. They sabotaged that. You know, being gang stalked. I almost didn't succeed at making it through college. And when we were teenagers, you know, the foster mom used to perform a lot of psychological games and manipulation and abuse, and tell me I'm going to wind up in jail or dead and deserve it. Or she would tell me I'm going to grow up to be schizophrenic. I mean, that I'm schizophrenic. She would lie and say I'm schizophrenic. She didn't start calling me crazy. Nobody started really calling me crazy and schizophrenic until after my targeting started, after 9th grade. And then the older I got, the targeting got worse. I mean, it was dangerous for me to go to school during my senior year in high school because the bullying was that bad. And, so the foster mom used to tell me I'm going to grow up to be, you know, a schizophrenic, crazy, drug-addicted, homeless prostitute. You know, thankfully I'm not on drugs, never been on drugs. And never been, never prostituted. But I'm falsely labeled as schizophrenic when I'm not. And, so I have obsessive compulsive disorder, Tourette syndrome, generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, and, complex PTSD, hypersensitive ear condition, hyperacusis, vertigo, plantar fasciitis on my feet. They hit me with directed energy weapons. Trying to remember what else. I had 2 strokes when I was 5. I had eye surgery at 5. They said that I had a heart murmur when I was 2 years old. I bust my head wide open. I think I was 2 years old. And I had nose surgery twice. Once at age 10 and another time at age 11. My body started developing fast. My body started developing fast, and I started menstruating at 8 years old. And some people, question, what was going on, And then, the foster mom chose a lot of favoritism and manufactured jealousy. Of course, if I would have known that I would have been that I was being manipulated, I wouldn't have told on, the siblings or the foster people, so much. But, well, if Wyatt was still alive, he would still hate me till this day. But Mark and Sean and them and my twin sister still, and the foster sister Joni, and I think the foster sister Joni's brother, who we would call the foster cousin James, Joni and her brother James. I don't know. Last in 2017, last I knew, Joni hated me and didn't want to be bothered with me or didn't want to associate with me. And it had been years. Like before 2017, I saw Joni once in person in 2017. She tried to pretend like she didn't know me. But my twin sister would rub it in my face about how Joni let her spend the night by her house and all, or stay by her house or whatever. But then it's like before 2017, I think I may have contacted Joni on the phone maybe once or twice when I was living in Los Angeles, maybe around 2013 or somewhere. But I haven't had really much contact with the foster family. The last time I talked to the foster mom was 2019. All the time she talked about I'm going to grow up being homeless. And when that fake foster cousin Shelby gave the foster mom my phone number, Shelby come to find out Shelby and his sister Whitney are perps. And the foster mom, she pretended to be fake outraged about me being on the streets. I'm like, well, how you going to be outraged or surprised or scared when you've been telling me that this is what I deserve or this is going to happen to me? So, but she made false promises to let me stay at her house after, and she said she was going to go on vacation for a week and then contact me again. She went AWOL on me. I never heard from the foster mom ever since then. But that was before I came to the conclusion to realize that she was the one most likely got me put in the program on the gang stalking list. So, but there's a possibility that I probably could have been born targeted. But ever since that situation happened in 9th grade back in 1997, my life ain't been the same. And so, and Lanika from the Kraft family is a perp. And very much involved in a mainly sexual witchcraft. She was underage and into, the sexual witchcraft. So that's why, I guess, why she, didn't treat me nice or whatever. And she would bully, harass, and laugh at me and stuff, while she favored my twin sister. you know, and so then, well, my senior year, like the foster mom used to give us $20 a month for allowance. First, she started off with $5 a week, and then $20 a month. When I heard the real foster care allowance was supposed to be $37, so she was robbing us of $17 per month. And also, she was getting so much money for us and lying and saying that she didn't get much or anything for us. She was getting like money for vacation, for winter and summer vacation. And and we never went on winter vacation ever. Every once in a while, we might go on summer vacation. If it's not her going to visit her youngest daughter, April, then it was, had to be fake cult Bible class related. Fake IDMR cult related. Summer trips. And it wasn't even every year. And all the clothing allowances that she got that money for us when she kept us in the same hand-me-down clothes. Like, I was 18 years old going to college, still wearing the same hand-me-down clothes from when I was in 3rd grade. Yeah, same clothes for 10 years. The foster mom would keep us in the same old shitty clothes. Or if she did buy us something brand new and cheap, like a brand new $5 cheap t-shirt, it's our first time wearing it, and she would insult us and tell us that it looks horrible, or that it have this stain and that stain, or it's wrinkled, and it come to find out nothing's wrong with it, and she just insulting us for no reason. I'm like, wait a minute, this is my first, you just bought this, and this is my first time putting this on. You know, but Mickey was far more abusive than the foster mom, Adrian Felder. And then I got my first job at 17 years old, and the foster mom was taking my work paychecks. She was taking my paychecks, and I was workplace mobbed and gang stalked. My first job at Popeyes in fake Gretna on Lafayette Street. Off from the expressway in Lafayette Street in Gretna. 2000/2001. Not even 4 months that I worked the job, and they abused. That's a different story right there. That they abused me and played games and were cheating me out my checks. They were cheating me out my checks, and the money I got, they were overworking me and cheating me out my checks, and playing all kinds of other psychological games and workplace mobbing me. And I got fired for reporting the manager for sexual harassment. And the manager, Miss Gloria Simmons, admitted to me that she fired me, saying that, fired me to protect themselves from a lawsuit. Because one of the male manager, Mr. Dwight, he was bisexual, but he was sexually harassing people. And then kind of find out years later I wasn't the only victim. So the foster mom was taking my checks. I was bullied very bad during my senior year in high school, as well as other years, but that was the worst. And then they tried to set me up for failure at Nichols State University trying to go to college. The foster mom had everybody at Nichols State University to stalk and spy on me. Everybody in the dorm room. The dorm, the college dorm. She would have them stalk and spy on me. I was 18 years old, an adult. And she would have them stalk and spy on me and report everything back to her. And so, I was forced to see a psychiatrist and take medication. And I heard that when I was 18 years old, I don't know who it was, but I heard somebody stole my identity and put Dillard's credit cards in my name and some other credit card, I don't remember. And also, they had on false record that I was incarcerated, so I couldn't get any transportation. Now, I had never been to jail at that time. I had just turned 18. So the foster mom, I couldn't get the medical transportation, so she would take me to and from the psychiatrist appointments and stuff and manipulate the psychiatrist and the psychologist to think a certain way about me. You know, and I was, when I started Nichols State University, I was forced to be poor. And the foster mom would, they had this program where they gave me $115 a month. Excuse me, and the foster mom would be very controlling with my money. And it was 2002 when I first started getting the Social Security and SSI checks. But I think I didn't start to get the Medicare until 2003. The foster mom took the Social Security back pay check and the trust fund check. I think the trust fund check was $5,499, and I think the Social Security back pay check was I don't remember if it was $3,900 or something like that. But the foster mom juiced, I never wanted to be on SSI and Social Security, and the foster mom juiced my head up to think that that she was going to help me get a new car and this and that, whatever, with the back pay money. Nope, she was taking my checks, she took my Social Security check every month because that was more money, and left me with a smaller check of barely $200. And she would make it like I had to answer to her. I didn't want to live with her after turning 18, but the fake social workers and everybody arranged for me to still be forced to have to live with her and for her to control me after I turned 18. But I was 19 going on 20. I was trying to fight to get this disabled housing in New Orleans, Towers, and Algiers. They gang stalked and mobbed me. The gang stalking was really bad in New Orleans Towers, so bad that I almost got wrongfully evicted the first week of living there. But I stayed there for a year and 9 months until Hurricane Katrina happened. I was forced to be poor and low income all my life. Well, mainly, all my adulthood life. I don't know what it's like to experience working a job and making good money. I've been having so many job rejections and nobody wanting to hire me. All these doors closed in my face throughout the years. And I was 19, transitioning between Nichols and the University of New Orleans. I had to withdraw from Nichols State University due to a lot of different reasons. But I was trying to look for jobs, and the foster mom kept sabotaging every job I tried to get, and I didn't understand why. And she sabotaged all those job opportunities for me so that I guess she could try to maximize the Social Security and SSI checks. And she would tell me nobody's going to hire me. I've been wanting to work and have my own job and be independent since I was 14 years old. And ever since the targeting, things ain't been, But I didn't realize you had to be a certain age to have a job and work. But in Pensacola, Florida, you can be 14 and work, but not in New Orleans, Louisiana. So all these doors closed in my face, and then the job that I did get, I was workplace mob. They didn't workplace mob my twin sister at that Pizza Hut job, and she didn't come home with really any complaints, and she lasted the whole school year. up until after we turned 18, she went to the military. But I was workplace mob off the Popeyes job. So I've been forced to be on SSI and Social Security. All my adulthood life, I never wanted this. I even wished I could be entrepreneurial or own my own restaurant and stuff, People keep suppressing me. Nobody wanted to help me succeed. Everybody was pushing for me to fail in life. So then, I ended up being forced poor and forced with dealing with the psychiatry and the mental health system. I was done with psychiatry and the mental health system mostly for good. In 2011, once I woke up to the truth about the Illuminati and the New World Order, I started waking up in 2010. But even in 2006, I wanted to be an author and publish and write books and everything, even though I'm not the greatest writer. But I just want to do things my own way with nobody trying to boss and control and police how they think I should do things, Now, I never like for people to boss and control me, especially people that's younger than me, because they want to, make me feel like I'm stupid and a fool. I'm 41 years old. People still call me girl rather than respecting me as a woman. And, when people my age people half my age and younger, young enough to be my child, who think that they can handle me and tell me off about myself and wrongfully ban me from places, make that decision, to punish me in some kind of way. People out in society who, even children, I'm 41 years old, and even teenagers act like they think that they're more mature than me. And me dealing with a lot of narcissistic abuse and gang stalking from a lot of people. So I ended up homeless off and on throughout the years. Not while in foster care, but after becoming an adult, I ended up homeless throughout the years. But the biological family never really did anything for me. Never. But I was always doing for everybody else. And, they took advantage of me having a big heart and a good heart and everything. But, yeah, I broke away from psychiatry and in the mental health system in 2011. I tried in 2009. I tried in 2003. I tried even when I was in high school. I broke away from the IDMR cult beliefs, but I was off and on either believing in the cult or being an atheist, but my first attempt at trying to become a Christian was in 2010, but that didn't work out. But it was 2012 when I made the final confirmation of deciding to be a Christian, and then I got raped by a Freemason the next day. The next day after I accept Jesus Christ the next day after I accept Jesus Christ into my heart, I got raped by a Freemason the next day. And so, and then I dealt with a lot of abuse from people in these churches as well. So I don't go to any church, and I just read the Bible and pray alone. Or I might look up certain Bible study, maybe online or something. Excuse me. But But it seems like all the good Christians are either dead or sold out nowadays, and it's hard to still find any good ones left nowadays, you know. The ones that anti-Illuminati and anti-New World Order and stand for the truth and won't compromise. And even then, some of them being like abusive and narcissistic and traumatizing and try to manipulate for you to backslide. Or, you know, try to manipulate for you to give up. The harder I try to get closer to Jesus Christ, that's the more I encounter mean, abusive people that say that they're Christian. So I'm not even welcome at any Christian message boards. I'm not welcome in a TI community. I'm just all by myself. So I got my final confirmation. I first started figuring out that I was targeted maybe 2011, 2012, but I got my final confirmation in 2019. And then I started doing YouTube videos. Starbricker got that first PsychWorld channel wrongfully taken down in 2019. And YouTube will not give me that channel back at all. At all. And 2020, I mean, I was homeless. I became chronically homeless in July 31st, 2018, with the exception of that permanent housing I only had for 1 month last September, and they gang stalked me and threatened my life out of my apartment. Excuse me. Excuse me. Did I tell y'all I had 2 strokes when I was 5? Yeah, I had that. But yeah. Anyway, I didn't remember. But so I ended up being homeless, mostly independent. But then, I mean, people used to tell me. In 2019, people used to say, don't be afraid to ask for help, or don't be too proud to ask for help, or, you know. But then, after that thing happened in 2019, that thing that happened in 2020, that thing that happened, you know, I can't mention that word on here, that thing that, you know, caused people to have, you know, the mask and lockdown, that thing. So ever since then, everything became more expensive, and then me being wrongfully banned from more and more places, because it was in 2020 mainly the stalkers started having me wrongfully permanently banned from everywhere. And then, you know, I try to get the cheapest of that, what I could afford. And, you know, I mean, I was wrongfully banned from a few places on Canal Street being homeless before I had the final wake up about myself being targeted, you know. And then, I mean, I was living off of my SSI and Social Security, trying to be independent, trying to get jobs here and there, and asked for much and nothing until in 2019, until the Social Security ran out, and then I would after the 25th of the month, then I would end up being broke and having to panhandle until like maybe every day for like a week or so. But then when that thing happened in 2020 and stuff started to get more expensive, and then the stalkers having me wrongfully banned from everywhere, then I've been having to, and then certain weather like hurricanes and cold weather and stuff, I've been forced to have to ask for money for hotel room and food and stuff. But I had a homeless sleep spot in Pensacola. And I had it made where I could have a homeless sleep spot and a sleeping bag in Pensacola, and then go to the YMCA and take a shower and work there. And I got wrongfully banned and fired. try to go to other places, you know. But I don't do gym memberships because of them taking money out whenever they feel like it. And then if I get wrongfully banned from a gym due to the gang stalking and I can't cancel my membership, well, I heard that they won't let you cancel your membership even if you quit. So that's the reason why I don't do gyms. I'm wrongfully banned from the college I graduated from, so I can't go take showers there. I graduated from college in 2006 and I got a bachelor's degree in Spanish. I was supposed to be fluent, but I'm not. I studied in Costa Rica for 5 weeks in 2005 before Hurricane Katrina. I originally was supposed to have graduated college spring 2005, but due to family gang stalking and lies made up on me, I almost didn't even make it through college. And then Hurricane Katrina, I almost didn't make it. Excuse me, but I made it with a low GPA. But I made it through. And many times I wanted to quit. And and people would throw in my face and bully me saying that my college degree means nothing. And the foster sister Shelley, even after I graduated from college or was, they sabotaged my job that I got straight out of college. It was going to be at Gretna Junior High in middle school. Well, the school they changed it to another school, I think. But that was the school I went to. So then I got hired right straight after graduation. The foster family sabotaged that. And I ended up being forced to flee to New York and then ended up homeless. With attempts to try to go to translation school. My homeless situation, they forced me into the mental health system. I had a bachelor's degree and they forced me to take these mental health programs where I have to do first grade. They think it's mental health therapy to do first grade math computer programs, all day. And then some fake new age yoga and exercise and all that and coloring like a freaking child and all that. And it was dumbing down for me because I had just graduated from college. And they forced me in New York. They forced me in this mental health program and forced me to be homeless. And then when I was in New York in 2006, 2007, that homeless mental health shelter and being bullied and gang stalked really heavy. And then I finally got a place and was living with roommates. And one of the roommates kept repeatedly trying to stab me. And then I became suicidal. And the family didn't care. And they thought I was just lying and playing games for attention. So so basically I was living in Denton, Texas from 2000. I bounced around from place to place after Hurricane Katrina. And I lived in Denton, Texas for Denton, Texas for 4 years. Dealt with a lot of racism and from whites and Mexicans. Went to Los Angeles, dealt with racism from Mexicans and some of the a few Guatemalans and people from El Salvador and stuff, and left me traumatized. I also lived in LA for four and a half years, from 2011 through 2016. Then that lady Lisa Ruby sent for me to come from Los Angeles to South Carolina and left me to be homeless. And then I ended up going by my brother for 3 weeks. And then after that, I ended up in that apartment and then being gang stalked. And then ever since 2018, seeing like all I can last, if I get an apartment, I can only last a month. And then neighbors threatening my life and bullying me after a whole month, and feeling unsafe around neighbors. You're fearing for your life because your neighbors are threatening you and making you feel unsafe. and harassing you and stuff. In 2017 and 18 with the Section 8, I ended up, you know, dealing with being abused by the Section 8 people in the Section 8 office in fake Gretna. I was forced to be locked in my lease, and the targeting with the neighbors was unbearable everywhere I go. So, and I was forced to have to go to the emergency room a lot of times because they were hitting me with directed energy weapons and doing who knows what, keeping me days of sleep deprived. I've been traumatized, thought I was going to die. It's like people were killing me, more like remotely killing me. And when you're being tortured with directed energy weapons and made to feel like you're going to die, and all these people around and nobody want to help you. You know, they would keep me days of sleep deprived, like 18 days of no sleep. So I cannot, excuse me, before I even realized I was fully realized I was targeted, like I'm wrongfully banned from the homeless shelters. A lot of them the homeless shelters are exploitative, money-hungry prison scam cults. And I can't go to homeless soup kitchens, homeless day centers. I'm banned from, kicked out of those too, due to defending myself against the targeting. And they kicked me out of and wrongfully banned from homeless soup kitchens and even in Pensacola, Florida. So that's when I had to resort to eating out at restaurants every meal and try to get the cheaper meals or even appetizers. I try to make my meals between $10 and $15 or even less than 10. You know, and here in New Orleans, yeah, I've had to go days without food, or like maybe go a day without food, or you know, but in Pensacola I was mostly taken care of. You know, they gang stalked me out of Pensacola. Excuse me. That I can't even go back for. I mean, I don't know about forever, but for a long time, I cannot go back to Pensacola. And I love the city, Pensacola, but the gang stalking, they forced me to hate it. So, I mean, I have the desire to want to be independent and self-sufficient, but the stalkers are forcing me to have to be needy and dependent on others, like, and they turn everybody against me and manipulate everybody against me and tell everybody to not support me. And they're desperate to make up as many lies as possible. If they see me getting support, they would try to turn that person against me. If they don't turn that person against me, then they start bullying, harassing, and threatening and beat that person into submission. Like, they have people now that's trying to be supportive of me. The stalkers are bullying, harassing, and threatening them against me. Excuse me. My entire biological family members, they're all gang stalkers. And I'm not allowed to go live by them. If I do, I will end up being set up for jail, institutionalization, or death. And my twin sister, y'all, it's already common knowledge that she gang stalks me on YouTube. And I'm not backing down from the truth. In the foster family, you know, they haven't really been in my life in the recent years, but, you know, dealing with some of them made to feel like my presence was not welcome. If they were still bitter to me from years ago. But then growing up, I always had to hear narcissistic lectures about how I should let go of the past and stop being negative. So I just, you know, I don't even try to go stay by the foster family, because what they would do is they would try to force me back into the mental health system. The foster mom might force me back into the cult. So I don't want to deal with either one of those. And then, in the live stream last week, my twin sister re-triggered me all over again with phrases I haven't heard from in years. Phrases I haven't heard in years. Because she get that shit from the fake foster family abuse. While she was being abused too. And then turned from victim to predator. Victim to abuser. And she picked up where the foster mom left off at with the abuse. And so, I'm sorry this is over an hour long if this is too long for y'all. But, I'm giving people an idea of what my situation is. And they've sabotaged jobs. Like, the online stalkers will illegally find out where I work at, and illegally find out where I work at, and then call up the job and show them my YouTube videos and slander and lie on me. And then had me wrongfully fired from the job and banned forever. Like the Sky Zone job, they lied on me. And they had like 6 police cars of Escambia County Sheriff in Pensacola with the Sky Zone job. And I'm wrongfully banned from the job forever. And got wrongfully fired and banned forever. Just because the stalkers illegally found out where I worked at. And they hunted down, on a militant mission to hunt down where I'm working at. And then they make a false smear campaign and lie and say I'm lazy and don't want to work and I need to go and get a job. I'm blacklisted from employment and got to suffer workplace mobbing. And the only jobs I could get is janitorial and dishwashing. And they squeeze my organs when I'm trying to bend down to work, or they gang stalk me really heavy, hit me with weapons, keep me dazed or sleep deprived. Have co-workers gang stalking and bullying me for no reason at whatever job. So if I don't get just fired from the job, but for me to talk about gang stalking, about how my co-workers were gang stalking, then the online stalkers call up and show them my videos, and for them to send 6 police cars to come bully me bully me away from the job, and then make the decision to have me banned. And the fake coward manager at Sky Zone didn't even discuss with me first. He pretended to be fake nice and tricked and lured me to the office, and then they try to have the police to bully and intimidate me. But I would be like 37, I'm 41 now, but I would be like 37 years old and deal with bossy 17-year-old co-workers. Bossy 17-year-old co-workers who think they got authority over me. And think they're more mature. So, what else? So I can't be at homeless shelters. I'm forced to have to eat out at restaurants or whatever. And I try to, since I gotta be on the streets at night, I try to eat at restaurants where I'm welcome and where I'm allowed to charge my phone and eat. Excuse me, until the bus comes. And I go to the library during the day, since I'm wrongfully banned from or can't be at the homeless day centers. And my disability alone breaks the rules the shelters feel like my disability is breaking the rules. So for me to be have hypersensitive ears and can't tolerate noise, or can't have people touching me, or yeah, they consider that breaking the rules. And it's and I, you know, and then a lot of people say the shelters is like a concentration camp. As I said, exploitative, money-hungry prison scam cults that take your entire check, take all your money, and feed you scraps. It's like you paying to live in prison in these homeless shelters. And they run the shelters like cults. You know, and they take all your money. So then, so I'm forced to have to eat out at restaurants and forced to be homeless. And I can't live anywhere for too long. I can't have permanent housing anymore because of neighbors threatening my life everywhere I live, and the noise harassment, noise campaigns being followed everywhere. Excuse me, neighbors smoking weed and then entering my apartment, and neighbors threaten me. The online stalkers will illegally find out where I'm living at, and I don't even I don't even have to have my location on. And you know, they illegally find out where I'm, like the last apartment that I lived in for 1 month last year, the online stalkers illegally contacted the landlady and the housing agency and told them and showed them my videos. And they threatened to evict me. Excuse me. And then they had they forced me into a meeting where they would not allow me to film and record while they were filming and recording. They were filming and recording the meeting, but wouldn't allow me to film and expose their abuse and manipulation and psych games. And then I was forced to have to leave and throw away everything out of that storage unit that I just put in my apartment, just trying to settle in. Otherwise, if I had that $213 a month apartment, you know, and if the neighbors would not have been the way that they had been to me, and if I didn't have to deal with the online stalkers trying to be involved and making me being stalked, harassed, and threatened online and in person, and then bombarding me with noise harassment and noise campaigns and doing everything else dangerous around me, then, you know, I could have still been in that apartment in Pensacola and probably flourishing and thriving, and maybe never not having to beg and panhandle for or ask for nothing. Excuse me. You ask for government assistance, they be rude and abusive and treat you like you're not welcome to call. I got to deal with abuse from the Social Security Administration. The Section 8 program people were so abusive that I fucking quit Section 8. So, excuse me, if I stay at a place by a certain time, they will gang stalk me out of the place. So, whenever I have the funds, I have hotel room, but if I don't have the funds, then I have to struggle and suffer on the streets. The stalkers will not allow me to earn a living from my writings and short stories and ebooks, and they're trying to find ways to criminalize what I write, turn it into a crime, and then lie and say that I'm manipulating and scamming people. the Social Security Administration and the IRS said that my writing is work and that it's self-employment. The stalkers, if I post a short story, they falsely report it as a scam, and then I appeal it, and then YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, or whoever will reject that appeal. But everybody else can, make lots of money on publishing wickedness, publishing evil novels, and get popular. Excuse me. And I mean, yeah, everybody's suppressing me. Like, I can no longer do janitorial and dishwashing jobs anymore because of them squeezing my organs and causing me bad vertigo and stuff like that. So, and then certain people say that I'm overqualified for those kinds of jobs, but then when I got to deal with those kinds of jobs, I end up dealing with being workplace mobbed. Excuse me. But if I got to deal with I mean, I can't even get like a office assistant job because I might have coworkers that might do noisy things or something like that, and excuse me, and now they won't even let me have an office assistant job. They want people that with 10 or 15 years of experience. And I had office assistant jobs back then, but my hypersensitive ear condition, and I can't work at a fast pace due to my disability. And a lot of places I cannot work at because there's noise everywhere, loud music everywhere. And then to be told that that I'm not allowed to have the earbuds to block out the loud music. Nah, I mean, so now I broke away from psychiatry and the mental health system and the mainstream doctors mostly. But I mean, I end up going to the emergency room if I feel afraid that I'm about to die, If I feel afraid that I'm gonna die or something bad happen, But mostly, I quit taking medication. I don't see doctors anymore, and I try to heal whatever disease naturally if I could, So. Yeah, I've been forced poor all my life. I don't know what it's like to make good money, and I don't know what it's like to earn good money from working. I've been suppressed, And even when I worked the Avis job in Pensacola, the stalkers were calling up random car wash places. They kept calling up random car wash places to see if I worked there, and they try to slander me and write fake bad Google reviews to smear campaign and slander me there. They call up hotels and tell them lies, and even hotels and restaurants that I never been to, like narc-ass phony Anthony, pretending to be the fake Darnell Williams perp. Anthony bragged about how he called up Paco's Tacos and had me banned. He said that the other day. And I at the location next to Panera Bread, I never ate at that Paco's Tacos before. I ate at the one in Metairie only one time and had a bad experience. So yeah, they participate in calling up random places and lying on me and having me wrongfully banned. Like, They even try to contact Holiday Inn hotels. I never stayed at Holiday Inn, but they make fake bad reviews, a smear campaign, and lie on Google reviews. And you're supposed to review the hotel, not a guest staying there. You're supposed to review, like, but how can you review something you never experienced? But this is the lengths that they go. Like they were hunting for and looking for where I was working at in Pensacola. Multiple jobs, they've done this to me. And they even said, we're going to find out where you work at and we're going to cause you to lose your job. And then they lie and say I'm lazy and don't want to work, and they want to say you should stop begging. Well, if you wouldn't, and then at the same time, like at the Avis job in 2022, I only lasted 12 days and got workplace mobbed by men, bullied by men, and maybe a couple of females, but mainly men. If I work a job and start a new job, and within the next day, the first day, the second day, or the first week, I end up breaking down, crying, having an emotional meltdown, crying. Because of being bullied so bad at work. Excuse me. And Starbricker nearly succeeded at getting all my ebooks wrongfully banned and taken down on Amazon. And I was able to, and one perp falsely reported my blog too last year. Excuse me. They try to get everything about me. They're trying to erase everything about my existence and trying to criminalize everything I do or say. I never heard of somebody that criminalized and hates you so much that they try to criminalize your living and breathing. Like, as I said, they attack my finances, trying to attack my Social Security checks. Sick the Social Security people on me like dogs and told them lies. And trying to get my checks taken away. Hoping that they can try to get me locked up in prison because they keep lying on me. These vigilante online stalker perps. They're sex traffickers. And they're sexually perverted. And with narcissistic personalities, and they all operate in packs, men and women, stalking, following, and harassing me everywhere online. And I got to deal with being gang stalked in person and workplace mob. If I go to church, I go to get mobbed out of there. If I join a club somewhere, I get mobbed and singled out and bullied and mobbed. Like when I was in Los Angeles, right after the biological mom Frances died, I tried to get me some kind of like therapy. Self-therapy to join a gardening club. Nobody wanted to help me and they left me hanging and they singled me out and bullied me. I was forced to have to quit the gardening club. So excuse me. So it seemed like I just have to just freaking exist and wait around to freaking die. Not allowed to do anything at all. I'm traumatized. The gang stalking and narcissistic abuse have been so bad that I'm traumatized by being around people. Traumatized by being around people. Traumatized by living with people, neighbors and roommates. So it looks like I can only deal with, I'm wrongfully banned from all Wyndham hotels, banned from a lot of hotels, restaurants, almost got wrongfully banned from the library, wrongfully banned from the airport the day before I was supposed to start to work there. Excuse me. If I were to even get on a Section 8 list, it would take years, I'm pretty sure. Can't get food stamps, can't mention why. And if I did, then, you know, it would take months for me to get it anyway. Excuse me. Well, the Social Security and SSI is the reason why. I mean, and they cut out the $24 SSI check. And there was a lady that, when I called up the Social Security hotline, she basically admitted that the stalkers had called up and told lies about me and stuff, you know. So they reduced the they cut out the SSI check completely, suspended it. It was only $24 anyway. And the Social Security check, they reduced it because of Medicare Part B. And I was trying to get an address, and I could not get an address for a few months. Excuse me. I have a video of being bullied and gang stalked out of the Rebuild Center, 1803 Gravier Street. I mean, by me being raped and traumatized and stuff, my OCD, I can't touch anyone or get close to anyone, you know. Excuse me. I feel uncomfortable touching anything dirty. The foster mom, remember I told y'all she used to use us as cleanup slaves and punish us extra harshly if it wasn't clean to her expectation. And she kept us eternally punished. That also is a factor. That she would traumatizingly abuse us if the dishes weren't washed to her expectation or something. You know. Excuse me. So if people dish out orders telling me to clean this up and clean that up, and give me a deadline, and then I end up panicking, having panic attacks and stuff, you know, and being re-traumatized all over again, you know. So, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I feel bad. I hate to be a burden. But to let y'all know, I put in the description box of just about every video, the Truth DVD for Christians, links to my blog, my Ko-fi, and my short stories, my fundraiser, my petition, my link tree, also links to excuse me, links to the help, I can't think, links to, you know, to know from other people to know about gang stalking. Also, I put a link to if you want to download the Bible itself, you know, and so, I mean, if I had enough support with my writings alone and perps wouldn't be sabotaging and get me wrongfully banned from everywhere, I mean, I could keep a roof over my head if I had enough support and earn the money from, you know, from my writings alone. You know, and for many years, I had dreamed of to get to be a travel blogger, like a travel, restaurant, and food blogger, but you know, now the stalkers got me wrongfully permanently banned from in-town suites, every location, and they try to get me wrongfully banned from Extended Stay America, but I don't know if I'm still allowed to go there or if I'm wrongfully banned from there too. And I'm wrongfully permanently banned from all Wyndham hotels. I'm wrongfully permanently banned from the Riverwalk, well, not permanent. Well, I was told not permanently banned, but I'm wrongfully banned from the Riverwalk Mall and by the Creole Queen boat. I'm wrongfully banned from Oasis Motel permanently forever. I'm wrongfully permanently banned for the rest of my life from Super 6 Motel in Pensacola, Florida. That motel where they put what looked like the entire bed drenched in blood, and they tried to force me to sleep on that bed. That happened in 2019 where the Indian guy Indian from India, not Native American, and he tried to force me. He forced me against my will to sleep on that same bed where it was the entire mattress was covered in blood. And I don't know if satanic rituals were done, you know. But that traumatized and frightened me. And it seemed like a neat circle of blood all over the mattress. And it was put like a perfect, neat circle. And I had just checked out of that room 2 days prior, and everything was fine. And he put me back in that room. He put me in another room, and the air conditioner wasn't working, and it was cold. So then, as punishment, he put me back in that room. And but then I got wrongfully banned from the Super 6 motel in Pensacola because for filming and documenting a perp that did not live there. I mean, that did not stay there. And he had one brake light or one tail light, but red truck, and he sped on the property and nearly hit me with his truck. You know, and so, and he ran to room 233, that Masonic 33. And then, you know, so they lied on me and wrongfully banned me forever and told me that I'm not allowed to film. Like, people film hotels all the time. You just don't want me to talk about hotel people gang stalking me. That's why. So for me to talk about I'm being gang stalked, and then the stalkers call up and show them my videos of me talking about I'm being gang stalked, then I get wrongfully permanently banned from the whole entire corporation forever. And I'm banned from way more places too. So, and the stalkers illegally, y'all see in the comments that they illegally post up the address to wherever hotel I'm staying at. And they want me completely on the street. They want me to die on the streets. But nowhere. I mean, they keep sabotaging me and get me just wrongfully kicked out everywhere. That everywhere I go is trespassing. And they want me locked up and put away in jail, prison, or the institution. They think I deserve to be punished with not living in society. They want me to shut up about being gang stalked while they're doing the gang stalking and sex trafficking and murder. They're the criminals, not me. They make up false calls to get me in trouble, and then when they see me getting persecuted, then they watch and kick back and laugh. But when they see me getting support and people being nice to me, they panic and feel like they must do whatever to sabotage and turn everybody against me. And I don't even have support in the TI community. The TI community has sold out. And see, they're freezing my phone. They are freezing they're freezing my phone. The TI community, and it's precisely 3:30 in the afternoon now. And my phone the video is at 1 hour and 33 minutes now. So they so here they sabotaging me getting the truth out because they keep freezing my phone. So they now I lost my train of thought. So a lot of people in the TI community sold out and became perps. And became narcissistic and controlling and joined the wickedness while lying to people and saying that they're chosen. And then they got so many fakes that infiltrated in the TI community, act like as if they frown upon me begging. Well, what do homeless people do? Beg? Or if I tell a narcissistic control freak fake TI perp that I thought was a friend, If I tell them, like when I told two people in the TI community, and I had an emotional meltdown and cried and was, and trying to battle against thinking suicidal. And what both of them did, and both of them were younger than me, they yelled at me and kicked me down even harder and victim blamed me. And I should have cut them off then. Excuse me. And so, if they know that they force targeted individuals to be homeless and destitute and everything, why do people frown upon me for asking for help for trying to survive? One thing, a lot of people's targeting is different, but at the same time, a lot of it's the same too. And nobody trusts each other, even in the TI community, except the popular fakes who you shouldn't be trusting is the main ones y'all trust higher. You trust them above God. If I try to go, I try to talk to Anatolita Davila from Puerto Rico, ask her for advice, and she ignored me. I dealt with dealing with being abused and bullied and treated mean by people associated with targeted justice. A lot of the bigger programs in the so-called TI community end up being like CIA fronts or whatever. I had an argument with Shayla Avance, and she turned out to be an occultist. And excuse me, so I don't even reach out anymore. If they have people who claim to be targeted and talk about wanting me to come stay by them, and then come to find out they end up being trafficking, exploitative perps that's trying to set me up. A fake TI perp that was living in the RV in Gulf Breeze, Tanya White. She lied and said her name was Judy. And she, excuse me, she locked me up in her RV for 2 hours and held me hostage. Trisha was trying to sacrifice me. Patricia Jerome was trying to sacrifice me. Lisa Ruby was trying to sacrifice me and sent for me to come by her in South Carolina. And for me to get rid of everything just to go stay by her just for this fake deliverance ministry thing while she was planning evil on me. And her husband was subliminally threatening me with a gun. And everything Lisa Ruby was doing to me, she tried to tell me everybody else was doing. So God spared my life that Lisa Ruby and her husband were planning to murder me. And they were narcissistic, control freak, fake TI perps that weaponized my traumas against me, just like what Darius did. And excuse me, and Janet was a regular perp, and I didn't know what she was gonna do. She used me and manipulated, perped, and took advantage of me. Excuse me. Then I tried to rent a room from another person in Pensacola, and she lied and said she was Christian. She was perping with the red, and then she had her bed, the rooms for rent were bed bug infested, and the rooms for rent were bed bug infested. And she turned out to be a perp. She was perping with a red shirt, lied and said she was Christian. And when I made a video to tell everybody beware of her, she falsely reported and got my my Craigslist post taken down, wrongfully taken down. So I cannot rent a room from people I can't live with anybody, but when I was trying to, people act like they didn't trust anyone. If you rent out rooms to people, and people wouldn't respond to my Craigslist ad, and if they did, they would they would ask me for a picture, and then I show them my picture, and then they would ghost me or go AWOL on me, or they would make a bunch of rules for me, excuse me, and make it like as if I'm not allowed to stay in the house all day. Oh, they make it like as if I have to stay gone all day and only come at night. Or they say you have to have a job. And they won't accept for you to have SSI and Social Security. Or mostly nobody would want to rent a room to me. And then if I did rent a room, it'd be like those cheap $400 rooms for rent that are bed bug infested. Even staying by Janet, when I first got by Janet, she gave me a bed with bed bugs, and then tried to gaslight and lie and blame it on me, and I didn't have bed bugs before going there. And so, excuse me, she rented me a place like $400 a month, and it was April 2020. Yeah, the moment I tried to lay down, she knew what she was doing. Janet turned out to be a perp. And so, also, they be having people that be trying to exploit and traffic. They got a lot of sex traffickers and predators on Craigslist. So I cannot rent a room out of nobody's house. If I got to deal with roommates or neighbors and stuff, I got to deal with smelling people smoking cigarettes and weed, or I got to deal with them blasting loud music and doing noise campaigns, noise harassment, having loud vehicles, and they threaten me if I beg and plead with them to turn it down. Why can't I just live somewhere off to myself and just in peace and quiet? And if I put up a fundraiser asking for a vehicle, the stalkers will sabotage that. And if I had a vehicle, that could open up the door to multiple more job opportunities plus higher pay. So, people been suppressing me. I have a license and started from the foster care. The foster mom trying to coercively infantilize me and make it like as if I don't have the mentality, sense, or business to drive. And they made it like my twin sister was more mature and with more common sense than me, because my twin sister turned into a perp and part of the cult, compliant with the cult and compliant with the mind control. And I resisted. Excuse me. I guess part of the New World Order is to be banned from everywhere. If you're not compliant, with the satanic stuff. So, the stalkers are making it impossible for me to live anywhere. And they're hoping that they could try to coerce me to go and kill myself. But after I found out that was one of the gang stalking goals, and that they could get monetary and spiritual bonuses with Satan, and then I would end up burning in hell. I'm trying to, fight the battle to stay alive until God takes me home. And I still feel like I'm not holy enough, Excuse me, I still feel like I'm not holy enough. Excuse me. So now it looks like I have to either be on the streets or stay in hotels, motels. I wouldn't mind going to stay at a tiny house, but as long as I didn't have to have neighbors that's gonna disrupt my peace and gang stalk, But I've been feeling homesick and just want to stay here in New Orleans. I got such a bad headache. I've been wanting to stay here in New Orleans. You know, so I guess the only thing I got going for myself is my writing. I mean, some people encourage me to try to practice, the food review thing, or I can't do restaurant reviews and hotel reviews because of the gang stalking and the smear campaigns, the ostracism, So I guess if I do review something, it would be like just maybe a food product from a grocery store, but I can't even really review restaurants and stuff because of the gang stalking and being treated really bad. If they know me trying to be a food reviewer about while being targeted, and the stalkers already condemn me and call me greedy. So if I'm trying to be a food reviewer and they probably will give me bad customer service on purpose for me to end up giving a bad review, and then they might use that to wrongfully blacklist or ban me from the entire, say for example, if they had a local chain called Michael's, like say for example, if they had Michael's Po' Boys or something like that, and if they had locations all across the Gulf Coast, and I go to Michael's Po' Boys, for example, and try out, their oyster po' boy, and I've been like, well, they cheated me or whatever, and then I'm blacklisted, and the online stalkers call and say, Candy Grand Prix did a video, and this is the video she did of you, and then I'm blacklisted and can't go, I'm wrongfully banned from like every location of Michael's Po' Boys. So I mean, if I had life my way, I mean, I used to think a certain way, like I wanted to live who didn't want to live the American dream, but now it's an American nightmare. I do not want fame. I do not want to sell out. I'm just trying to freaking survive. So excuse me, but I love my writing and would like to continue more writing. I don't know how many short stories I wrote, but well over 300. I know I wrote over 300 short stories, probably over 500. Excuse me, but I have not counted how many short stories I wrote. Excuse me. And they criminalize me having a regular job too, because they want to try to traffic me and want me to join the cult and trying to beat me into submission. And because they're mad that they can't beat me into submission, they want to try to force me to die, or trying to criminalize my survival and existence. So it looks like all I know to do is, that homeless sleep spot now, I can't even fall. I'm told, y'all heard the live stream of me being told that I cannot fall asleep there. So I have to be forced to be awake all night when I got to be on the streets. And I end up being harassed by they send a different homeless man every night to surveillance and watch me every night when I got to be on the streets. And I be trying to get him to get away from me. And then people want to be like, oh, this is a public spot. No, you don't understand. I know you're here to gang stalk and watch me. You're a predator. And excuse me, I be trying to find ways to make things as comfortable as possible in an uncomfortable and frightening situation. That people are coercing me to be homeless with nothing. This is an alternative form of prison to live like this. And all because of foster care. And people would donate thousands to my twin sister. She got a place to live. She had a car. And they praise and applaud her life. But, people, they're trying to get me to die. I showed y'all the death threats. Y'all have seen the death threats. and the mockery, and people still won't help. I mean, excuse me, people, when I try to ask for the money for clothes for the airport job, nobody came to help me. When I tried to ask for clothes for the airport job, nobody came to help me. And then the day before I was supposed to start work, I got wrongfully banned from the airport the day before I was supposed to start the job. And it's like, damn, how did the stalkers know that I was gonna work there? So, excuse me. So I probably should have said this in the beginning of the video, because I doubt if anybody's gonna watch these whole almost 2 hours, or probably 2 hours of this video. But I put in the more recent community posts, one about letting y'all know about drunk lady Yvonne, how she treated me. And then the other post, y'all said y'all wanted me to help me out with the Amazon wish list. So I just put a few. I've been having that wish list since last summer, last year. So for starters, I put a few items, and then so I put it there, and I can't give my mailing address because of the stalking. But some of y'all suggested the idea of Amazon lockers. Hold on, I have to use the bathroom. Okay, I'm back. Excuse me. So yeah, y'all told me about Amazon locker. I guess they have quite a few locations in New Orleans metro area. But as I said, the stalkers, they would try to sabotage they were trying to hunt for and trying to stalk where they think I might be getting mail at, so that they can try to sabotage me getting mail. Excuse me. Some wicked people that work for the devil and don't have a conscience, but think they're smarter with more common sense and more mature than me. They do not want me to live. And if you go to the targetedhumans.org website, in the tab that also says Targeted Humans tab on that website, it used to be called Citizens AHT. But if you go to Targeted Humans tab on the Targeted Humans website, you can't tell me I ain't going through that. So they're trying to sabotage my life and eliminate not just me, but a lot of us targets. But some of them are selling out and becoming evil. I don't want to become evil. So, thanks. If I had a car that can open up the door to way more opportunities, the stalkers sabotaged me being on Quora, and I had the little Quora partnership making like maybe $25 every 3 months. No, was it $25 or was it $5 every 3 months? But it was very little. And I don't get a whole lot here on YouTube at all, really. I don't get a whole lot, but everything just starting to pick up a little bit, take off a little bit, And I'm not that great with how to operate YouTube or whatever. As I said, I would like to learn how to embed music, like introductory and outro music in my videos, but I don't know how to do that with the free songs, the free music. It's a lot of things I don't know how to do. Excuse me. So with my writings, you can buy me a coffee with the Ko-fi. You can tip or donate, big or small. And the Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo, I have it in the description box. But the super thanks, I don't get the super thanks until the 21st, at least the 21st of the month, following any month that I get at least reach the $100 threshold. Sometimes that takes 3 months for me to get for me to get at least $100 on the 21st. So when I say I don't get the paycheck, if somebody donate me a super thanks in the live stream, they wrongfully take it as me being ungrateful and complaining, and I'm not. If I say I got like 93 cents in the bank, 45 cents in coins, and and then I get the super thanks, and it's like the 10th of the month and I'm broke, I say it to let people know. But the super thanks helps too, but they wrongfully, as I said, they wrongfully take me for being ungrateful and complaining, and I'm not. So Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo, and even to the Ko-fi, it's sometimes Ko-fi, I don't remember if they take out a little fee, but the fundraiser takes out the most. But I still put it up there for informational purposes, so y'all can kind of get a generalized idea of what my situation. I was going to type out a blog, but I have a headache right now, so that's why I'm doing a video. Excuse me, I'm sorry if it bothers y'all that the video is about 2 hours long. I'm about to get off here. But thanks for listening to me. I hope, I try to explain. I hope I gave y'all the gist of, my predicament and circumstance. And then my disability is making my survival and the targeting, and it's making it hard. That they want to force me to be in predicaments where I have to be forced to be dependent on others and follow rules and be around people rather than being independent and self-sufficient, and just being alone. I hate riding the buses. I would rather have my own car, my own place where I can cook at home. Excuse me, and have a work at home or work from home job and no noise. I have a hypersensitive ear condition. And there's nobody, there's so many people that are willing to participate, or so many people that's in on the gang stalking. Can't go to the cops. Can't go to the FBI. They're all in on it. What's the point of running to your oppressors? So to keep me saying, Bible reading and prayer for me, even though sometimes I fall short and, end up feeling helpless and hopeless and stuff too, But tomorrow night might be the last. That would be one more night that I could afford for the rest of the month with the SSI, the Social Security money. And then after that, that money is no more. And then, I guess after Saturday morning, I'm going to have to be crying out for help with hotel room. The stalkers got me wrongfully banned from the cheaper $400 extended stay hotels and motels and all Wyndham hotels. So I was told to stay here for a week is $580 a week. And A lot of people bully and say go get a job when I'm being blacklisted and workplace mobbed and everything. Most people overlook and ignore my application and won't give me a chance. And if so, I mean, everything got to be tortured and miserable and difficult to work if they force me to work around noise. And I have a bachelor's degree in Spanish and I'm a self-published author. There's no reason for me to have to be going through what I'm going through. I should not have to beg and panhandle for money for food and a hotel room and anything else. So I don't even go around trying to hurt people. I don't even intentionally try to commit crimes. But, you know, they're trying to criminalize my very existence. Please hear me out. So I'm trying to survive the best way I know how. With my OCD, I can't have a tent. And then I cannot have a tent at the location that I'm at. I'm not going to sleep underneath the bridge. And excuse me, and that's re-traumatizing for people to tell me that. The foster mom used to tell me I'm going to grow up to be homeless, living underneath the bridge and wondering where my next meal. She would speak evil over my life. And my twin sister acknowledges that the foster mom set us up for failure. Me and my twin sister could be exposing the foster care system together or researching together. But she's too scared to lead the cult. Too scared to go against the cult. But gang up on and bully me with the gang stalkers. Remain loyal to them. And gang up and think she's so tough bullying me. And got her fake cult. She got her own YouTube cult of trying to manipulate people to hate me. And be against me. And she tells them lies and have them come and attack me. They give her more privileges. I mean, if she had access to a car, no one would stop her from driving. She sends her call following flying monkeys to call me fat and greedy and be very controlling. Excuse me. To count how many calories they think I'm eating and be very judgmental and nitpicky. And, you know, try to count how much money they think that I'm getting donated. And I do not get thousands and thousands per month. If I did, then you would never see me on the freaking streets. I would be eating good every meal. No, I'd be freaking struggling. In the middle of the night, last night, I was tortured with weapons so bad. And even today, with my hips hurting so bad, excuse me, I could have cried. And I think they hit me with weapons to cause me to pass gas now. You know, for them, and my head hurting. I cannot have a permanent place to live because of gang stalking neighbors and directed energy weapons and the pain and everything. And I can't live with people. You never know who's going to be a dangerous perp. You never know who's going to be a dangerous perp. Excuse me. So, can't trust to live with nobody. Can't trust to give anyone my phone number. I'm traumatized by people. This gang stalking program has caused me to be traumatized by people. And people would rather give each other thumbs up for being cruel and sadistic But yet I get told that I'm negative, energy draining, and complain too much. And that I'm the one that's just full of negativity and hate. When I'm defending myself and trying to stand up and protect myself. Because throughout the years, I've been told that I put myself in a position and allow myself to be taken advantage of and hurt, and that I'm not a victim. And then when I start to fight back, y'all lying and say I'm harassing people and being crazy. I wasn't always filming and recording people and everything like that. You know, excuse me, and I'm extremely hypersensitive. People suspect that I might have Asperger's syndrome or autism. But there's no final diagnosis. I was diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorder, but then it got ruled out in kindergarten. And I mean, I cannot go to shelters and soup kitchens. I mean, it's like, why are people forcing me to have to live like this? Why can't they just let me be housed and leave me alone? Let me be housed and leave me alone. But they coercing me to be homeless and tortured and uncomfortable and miserable. And it feels like I'm living in hell on earth. Who the hell wanted to sadistically force their own twin sister to suffer? And I already told y'all. Already know. I already told y'all. Excuse me. They got certain people who profess to be Christian. They deceive and lie and say that they're Christian to manipulate for you to trust them, and then you find out that they could be more satanic than your freaking president or your freaking the celebrities or something. They use the fake Christian thing to try to bait you in, excuse me, to let your guard down, and then they swoop in and clean house with destroying your life. Can't even trust people that claim to be Christian. They got gang stalkers at your church. I've eyewitnessed and experienced. Who the hell would drive from church on a Sunday morning, red car and one headlight? And for me to be bullied, stalked, harassed, and followed and mobbed and kicked out of a church and lied on at church on a Sunday? Yeah. Getting wrongfully kicked out and banned of church-based homeless shelters? On the coldest day of the year? So, excuse me, I don't even know if I could have a support network to set it up for me to get help with, aside from the first week, if the next week's, if I could get help with, whatever, $600 a week for a hotel or motel or extended stay, plus maybe, $100 a week for food and hygiene while I write my short stories and novels or work on anything writing related. But the stalkers, both either in person or online, could at any day wrongfully sabotage and get me wrongfully permanently banned from the whole corporation forever. While the stalkers keep bullying, harassing, and threatening me, and threatening to have me 5150 or Baker acted or thrown in the river. I'm wrongfully permanently banned from so many places. And I'm too hypersensitive to be told to just ignore everything. No, how about they should stop the harassment and stop the torture? Stop it. So let me get off of here. Thanks for listening to me. Sorry the video was too long for you. But, you know, I try to give people an overview on what I have to deal with. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all later.